Okay, in this video we will talk about how to handle the drill down as well as how to create pop-ups in Splunk. Okay, so modal pop-ups means, let's say, let me show you an example over here. Let's say I have a search over here, and let's say I'll just go to Splunk search and reporting app, just try to find some alert over here. If I just select all, okay, so whenever you try to enable or disable alert, you get this kind of pop-up over here, right? So this is nothing but a Splunk modal pop-up. So in this video we will try to see how to create this kind of pop-ups as well, okay, with visualization inside it, so that because in the pop-up you may want to create some drop downs or something in any kind of Splunk visualization objects, right? So we will try to see those stuff as well today. So the use case will be, if you remember, like we were working on this Splunk JS dashboard over there, right? And we created all these drop downs, these panels, everything, and this table, this custom table renderer as well in our JavaScript, right? Now today what we'll do is, upon clicking on any movie over here, okay, it will be basically showing me a pop-up over here, something like this one, okay, and in that pop-up we will be having a Splunk table which will have this information displayed over here. So if you know how to create a table, we will be able to create drop downs or whatever it is, okay. So that's why I just choose to do it with table. Even this example I have used a single button, so creating a multiple button itself is a similar stuff, the repetition of this stuff of this task as well over here, okay. So if we understand this part, we'll be able to do it the other parts as well over there. So let's start. So first thing is, we will be working on the drill down first, okay, then we will be working on this guy over here, the pop-up over here. So the drill down, if you see the current behavior, so if I just click on any movie title over here, so it is going to a search over here, which is nothing but the Splunk default behavior over here, correct? So we need to basically stop that behavior first, okay. So to do that one, what we'll be doing, if we just go to, so this is nothing but a Splunk table which we have done a custom table renderer, right, cell renderer over there, right? So if I just go to the documentation for the Splunk Web Framework and the table view, so over there, if you see, there is a property called drill down redirect as well as the drill down over here, okay. So the drill down redirects actually tells us, indicates whether to redirect to a search page when clicked or not. So if you just make it as false, so this will handle the redirect scenario, right? Now the drill down properties actually tells us three things, as we have seen in the Splunk XML dashboard. So whether the drill down is at the row level, cell level, or we are basically turning off the drill down over here. The default is row, that's why when we clicked over there, so it is going with that value, and also the default for the drill down redirect is true, so that's why it was redirecting to the search page over there, okay. So this redirect can be handled in two ways. One way is this one, the redirect, you just make it as false. Another way is you can use this prevent default method in the click event or handler of that particular table, okay. We'll see that one today, because making this one is very easy over here, right? So we will see this one, how to use this prevent default to basically disable that redirection to the search page, okay. So let us work on that part first, then we will see other parts over there. So if I just go to the JavaScript we have developed before, so I'll be giving all those video links over here, so that you will be able to at least connect how we have developed previously, okay. So this was the whole JavaScript we previously developed over there, right? So this is all, like we have basically, if I just recap a bit, we have developed a base search over there, and all the different panels are actually referring this particular base search over here. Then there are certain multi drop downs, we have seen it over here, these drop downs over here. So if I just go back, so then we have some codes for other drop downs like the general ID and the original language. Then we have the code for the single panel. Then we have the code for those pie charts, bar charts, and line chart as well, right? Then we have over here the detailed table search and the detailed table over here, for which we have developed this custom cell renderer over here, right? So that is what we have done it over there. So till this point, this is my custom cell renderer of the table over here, which is basically displaying that image, that movie image in a table cell over there, right? Now let's first handle the click event, because we wanted to use the prevent default to make the redirection to the search page disabled, right? So for that we need to handle the click event of this particular table. So my table is this one over here. If I see, this is my custom table, right? So we have created with this table view. So if I just say my custom table on so which event we will be handling? We'll be handling the click event. And when the click event will be happening, we will be calling a function. So basically we will be calling a function, and that function will do all this stuff over here. Okay, so that's the click event code will be happening over here. Function E over here, so that the data after click event happens, it will be passed to that E over here. So we'll see how what E holds over here, because we will be using this value, some of the details of this E, some of the properties of this E to do something over here. First thing we'll be doing it, we'll be using the prevent default as we have seen it over here in the documentation, right? To use the prevent default to basically stop the redirection. So that we have done it, and let's see what E handles as well, like what E holds. Console.log, we will just log the E over here. Okay, so let us see first what we are achieving over here, okay, with this small code. So we will be bumping it once, then we will be refreshing this dashboard again. So if that prevent default is working, now if I click on this one, it should not move to the search page, which is happening now. If you see it, I just clicked on over here, it is not moving to the search page. So that redirection, we stopped it. Now also we have console.log an object E over here. If you see it, okay, so it is an object, and if you see, the most important part of this object is data over here, which is holding this click.name, click.name2. We know from the Splunk XML dashboard, we have these values, right? The click.name, click.value, click.name2, click.value2. These are the by default out of the box token available in Splunk, right? So this is how it is happening over here, and we have the earliest and latest time and other row level column, like the backdrop path, which is nothing but the movie poster over here, which we have rendered over here, right? The overview, the movie title, release date, whatever the data we were having in this table, it was available as the row dot the column name over here. So that's why if you see in the Splunk XML dashboard, this row dot column name is also available as a by default token over here, right? So we will be, if some information is needed over here, we will be fetching those data in this manner only. Okay, so we see how we saw basically how that E we are capturing over here when the click event happening is holding the data. Okay, and also we have basically stopped the redirection over here. Now let's move on. Now the next thing will be, so we saw the drill down redirection stopped. Now when the drill down will happen, when the click event will happen, we want to display a modal over here, right? Modal pop-up over here. So that will be the drill down behavior for us over here, right? So now let us try to see how we can create a modal pop-up in Splunk. For that, let me show you a trick over here, and the best way to create a modal pop-up in Splunk, and the most efficient way is, you may be aware about this particular app in Splunk called Splunk Dev for All. Okay, so over there, if you just go to the intermediate level of example, so there is a second thing is called the creating modal dialogues over here. If you see, so they have given some example like launch modal. If you see, like it has creating this kind of modals over here. Even after clicking on this one, it was tracking like what's going on over here. Even there are two buttons as well, if you see it, right? Even there are buttons with some Splunk drop downs or Splunk, basically the objects over here, right? The visualization object. So those, there are a lot of examples are given over here. Okay, so either you can refer this, and now when you want to refer this one, so there is a single thing you want to refer is that this JS file over here. Okay, and if you see, this particular JS file is actually referring to another JS file called modal.js, which is basically residing in the same app only. If you see, it's a dev for all. So if we just going from the back end, so let me go over here in the etc apps. I already downloaded this app. Maybe you can also use this particular app. It has a lot of good examples as well, which is very helpful for the developers. In the dev for all app, if you just go to app server, if you just go to static, so it was referring to the example 05 creating modal dialog, right? So if I just go over here, example 05 creating modal dialog. So this is the modal.js it was referring to, correct? So if you see this particular code over here, let me open that here. If you see, like if you just go through it, it is nothing but the wrapper around the modal implementation of the Bootstrap. So if you go to that Bootstrap modal implementation, like how it works and what are the different features it is having, it is similar. It basically the Splunk modal behaviors in a similar way. Okay, so maybe I'll just give you this particular link in my video description as well. Have a look. So if I just, so this is my modal.js. Now if you see it over here, so if I just go back to their modal example, so they basically using required, they are just referring to this guy over here, then they are creating the modal. We will come back to this modal creation steps, but first of all we need to see how we can use this particular JS file. Now there are two ways. Either you can use this particular, basically install this particular app in your environment and refer in similar way, okay, the way they have referred over here, or you can do is copy this modal.js in your app. So how you will doing it? We will copy this modal.js, okay, in our TMDB app, the same folder, app server static. We'll keep it over here. Then we'll be referring this modal.js as well. Any of these two way you can do it. Okay. So in this approach, you do not need to install that whole app over here. You just need this modal.js file over here. Okay. So once you have added this one, you need to restart Splunk once, because Splunk will not be able to understand this one. So let us quickly restart Splunk once. Okay, then we will see what are the different steps we need to follow to create a modal. Okay, our Splunk restart has been done. So let us go back again to this Splunk dev for all app intermediate creating modal dialogs. Okay, now if I just go to this JS file, now creating this modal is a 3 to 4 step process over here. Okay, first thing is you need to basically create an object of this modal class over here. If you see it, okay, so I'll just copy this in our code. We will fill it up accordingly. So we need to basically create the modal on the click event of the table. That's why I am creating this modal over here. Okay, so this is the first step. We will try to see what these things are. But let us first try to establish the skeleton over here. The second thing is, if you see it, when the modal will be created, it will have a body over here, like what will be displayed over there. Okay, so that is the my modal.body.append. So if you want to append some drop downs or any Splunk table or something, you need to basically create a div element over here. Okay, so this is the modal body. This maybe you can say nothing but a template what will be there in your modal body over here. Okay, it's nothing but an HTML kind of template over here. So this will be my second part. Now when in the body, as I said, you will be basically creating the HTML template, that means divs with their IDs, those things. Now what will happen to these divs, like what will be rendering or what kind of controls or Splunk visualizations will be creating for those divs. So that will be present as a part of modal.show. Maybe in this example they have, sorry, not the modal.show, yeah, modal.yield on show. Okay, so when the modal will be displayed, so what kind of, if you want to create any drop downs or tables, you will be writing your code over here. Okay, so this is the one you need to copy. So this is the third part. So we will copy this one as well. Okay, so now this is, so we saw in the body we'll be creating the template. In show, whatever template we are actually creating in the body, we'll be defining what will go over there, a drop down or Splunk table, those stuff. Now let's move on. So there is another part over here called the modal footer. So in this modal footer itself, you will be creating those buttons over here, right? So if I just click on over here, so this buttons is nothing but the modal footer over here. So this one is nothing but that el.show, that modal element, what will be, we are basically rendering over here, and this full template will be defining in the modal body over here. Okay, and what will be this modal basically titles and all we are defining when we are creating that particular modal object over there. Okay, so this one modal.footer is the fourth part over here. Okay, so this is happening over here. So this is my fourth part where we'll be creating those buttons in the modal. And now there are some optional part before that. This is the important part, modal.show. This will basically show you that modal over here. Okay, so this will basically display that modal over here. And there is one optional part over here called modal on hide. Okay, so once the modal is getting hide, if you want to take some action, you need to write your code over here. Okay, so that, let's keep it before the show. Anywhere you can add it. I'm just keeping it over here so that in terms of skeleton it looks perfect. Okay, if you see, this is a 5-step process. This one had the object, then the body, then we'll be creating those controls, then the footer, then on hide if you want to take something action, then modal.show over here. Now let's fill it up. We'll save it. Let's fill it up. So this is my object. So here you can give the modal ID over here. So you need to remember, like the many modals you are creating in your dashboard, just try to make it as a unique ID over here. So I'll keep it as modal 1 only. Now this is the title, as I said. So if I just see my use case, so it needs to be movie detail, right? Movie details. So I will just say movie details over here. Now the backdrop. For that, what we'll do is we will go back to this Bootstrap Modal page over here. Okay, now the backdrop means, so if you click on outside of the modal area, whether that particular modal pop-up will be getting hide or not. So that is the backdrop. So if I just quickly find it out over here, backdrop. Okay, so clicking on the modal backdrop will automatically close the modal. So yeah, this is the modal backdrop. If you see, it includes a modal backdrop element, alternatively specifies static, which does not close the modal on click. So that means if you want the modal to be automatically hidden, if you are clicking outside of the modal area, make this backdrop as true. Otherwise, you can have a string called static, which will basically does not close that modal if you are clicking outside of that modal area. Okay, so for us, we want that behavior. Like if we just click outside of the modal area, it should not do anything over there. It should just hide that modal. So for that, what we'll do is in the backdrop, instead of static, we'll just make it as true over here. Okay, it is either true, false, or static. Okay, now keyboard means if you just press escape from your keyboard, it should hide the modal or not. So either you can make it true, false. So you know this behavior over here. Okay. Now destroy on hide, that means once you hide that particular modal, it should the modal and its related data should be destroyed as well. So that's the setting over here. We always make it as true over here. And the type is like, if I just go back over here, and the code for that modal.js, if you see for the modal type, either it can be normal, wide, and no padding. Okay, so even though for this backdrop also, you can come over here and see it what's going on. It is the same information. Okay, either you can go to that Bootstrap page, or you can come to this modal.js code as well to see. Okay, so type means what will be the modal size over here. It is normal, wide, or no padding. So for now we will go with normal. If needed, maybe we'll go with wide, because we are trying to display a Splunk table over there, right? So it may take some space over there. So let's go with the wide. Okay, so that's my modal object over here. And if you see, this my modal object has been used everywhere, right? So in the modal body, what we need to do, let's see our use case over here. So first we need to display this particular string. Please find the movie details below, right? So let's write over here in a paragraph. Please find the movie details below. Okay, so that's my paragraph. And after that, what we need to do we need to basically show a Splunk table over here. Correct. So for that, we will basically create a div over here, which will hold a Splunk table. So we will name that div, or basically make that div ID as, let's say, movie detail table, movie, or let's say modal detail table. Okay, any ID you can give it over here. And then we will close the div over here. Okay, so we only need these two things over here. One of this lines, another is this particular div, which will hold the table. We still not wrote the code for the table creation, which we will be writing over here now. Now if you see it over here, they have given a comment over here. There is a challenge here, the show event fires before the event actually renders. So that's why they have used this timeout. So keep this timeout always. Okay, so only the portion we'll be touching it over here is they created a drop down. Okay, we will be creating a table over here. That will be the difference over here. So what we'll do is, we already know how to create a table in Splunk using Splunk JS, right? So what we need to do, basically we need to create a search, and we need to create a table view object. So we'll quickly copy these two stuff over here. Okay, and we will come back over here. We will delete this drop down code. We will paste it over here. Now as you have seen it, previously our table was using some post process manager search, right? So but we want to basically set a different search over here. So for that, what we'll do is, we need to basically code in similar way of the search manager, not the post process search, right? So for that, what we'll do is, if I just go up the way we created the base search, if you see new search manager, so that is what we will be doing it over here. Okay, so new search manager, let's give it a name. I'll say modal movie details search over here. Okay, and the ID will be modal table search, let's say. Okay, manager ID, we are basically creating a new search, so it is not a post process search, so that's why it does not need to refer anything over here. Correct. And in the search string, we will be giving something. So let's build the search string first. For that, we'll go back over here and we will go to our Splunk. Okay, and we will go to our search prompt. So we are working with the TMDB index over here, correct? So let's run this one for all time, at least see how it's going over here. Now what are the data we need it over here? If you see ID, gener id original language. So let us see that id. We have the gener id and original language, which should be coming off after id over here. Okay, and then we need the title, original title, vote average, vote count, right? So release date, we do not need it. So we need title, we need original title, and we do not need this overview popularity backdrop path over here, but we need this vote underscore average and vote underscore count field. So let us add that vote underscore average comma vote underscore count over here. Okay, so this is the data we will be basically displaying in that modal over here, but there is a catch over here. We want to display only for a particular movie, right? Because if I just click on over here, it needs to show the data only for this particular guy over here, correct? So for that, how we can do it? So basically, once we click on over here, we have already seen that E, right, which is holding all this click.value and those other informations over here. Maybe we'll be getting this movie title. Okay, so we can search in our this particular data using this movie title and get the details over here. Basically, we want to filter with the movie title, right? So how we will be doing it? We'll be doing where title. So let's say, like, if I just do it something like this one, if I just give a movie name over here, ideally it should be fetching up the details for that particular movie only, correct? And if just to make sure we are only displaying a single record, we can just do a dedup with id. So this will be our search over here. The only thing is that here we need to pass the clicked movie title, which we'll see it. Okay, but at least let us use this particular search initially. So in the search, we will be using this guy over here now. Control V. Okay, and over here, so let's remove this guy over here now. Okay, and as we have given this double quotes, we need to escape it. So let us escape it over here. Okay, even over here as well, we have given the index name within double quotes. We need to escape over here as well. Okay, so this is our search. So but this search is incomplete because we need to pass the movie title over here. And what will be my earliest and latest time for this search? So as we have seen it over here when we created our base search, so we have given some earliest and latest time and preview and cache. So let us add these things, and we'll be searching for all time now. So we'll be adding it over here. So let's make it proper indented. Even the JavaScript is not required that, but it looks good. Okay, so our second part is also ready. So basically third part is also ready. We have defined the object, we have created the body, we have created the table over here as well. Okay, only thing is that here we need to pass the token, so which we will see it, but let's work on the other stuff here, then we will move to that part. Okay, before that, I think this is the search we has created. So this is our table view, so which let's give an ID called modal. So this is our table view. Let's work on that. The manager ID will be the search ID. So this is my search, so we have to give that same search ID over here. Page size is fine, 10, and the EL, that means the div ID where this table will be displayed, will be this particular div ID over here, correct? So let us update that one as well. So now our third part is almost done. Okay, now in the footer, if you see, they are basically creating a button over here. If you see in the footer.append, they are basically using this particular jQuery. They are basically creating a button, and the thing you need to concentrate over here is the button name over here. If you see the button.text, currently it is closed, we will make it okay because we want to display okay over here. Okay, so okay, and if you want to create multiple buttons, just refer this one. If you see it, if I just go back to this creating modal dialog, so this is the one, not this one, this is the third one. I think here they are creating this decrease increase, right? So let us try to find it out over here. This is our model, this is their model 3, right? And if you see it in the footer, they actually appended 2 buttons, comma separated, right? See, this is the code for one button, and this is the comma, then this is the code for another button. So that's what it is. And if you see it over here, the inside that button code, you can take some action as well. Suppose upon clicking on button, if you want to call some REST endpoints or do something, that code will be coming up over here. For us, currently we will not do anything, but in future we will try to implement another use case where maybe here we need to write a code over there. We'll see in that time. Okay, but for today we'll just try to make it's very simple. So there is no code over here, so we will not write any code over here. On hide also we will not write any code over here, and the modal.show. So skeleton wise we are fine. So only if we are just passing the token over here or some movie ID over here, we are done with this one, correct? So let us save it. Now let us work on how we can get the movie. If I just go back over here, this movie title. So if I just open the JavaScript prompt over here, if I click on over here, so this is our E, right? In that E data, if you see it, the row.titles is actually holding the movie title over here, correct? So if we just set a token, once we click this one, if we just set a token over here, we are done. We can pass that token to that particular search. So that is what we'll be doing it now. So this is where we have started our click event, right? So we created the modal inside this click event only, but before we create this modal, what we have to do is we have to set a token. So how we will be setting a token, we already saw in my tokens video. If you remember, maybe I'll be giving that video link over here as well. So there are a default token model. If you see it, previously when we worked on, we created this guy. Maybe I'll just go over here, this default token model, and if you see it, it is basically mvc.components.getting default. So using this default token model itself, we can set a token over here just like this one, right? So we will copy this particular code over here. We will go down, we will, before the modal, we will be setting our token over here. So let's give a token name. We'll say clicked movie title over here. Okay, so this is my token name, and what will be the value of the token? It will be that e dot data. We have seen that, and data is a, if I just go back over here, this data is nothing but a JSON object over here. Okay, if you see it over here, so that means if I just say data row.title, we are done. So inside this double quote, we'll pass this row.title over here. Okay, and then once we have set that token one, when we click that particular movie, we can just pass this guy over here. So over here, how will you passing as a token, $, the token name, correct? So this is what it will be. So if everything we have done correctly, once we click that movie detail, it should open up that pop-up and it should display a table for that particular movie. Okay, so let's bump it once and try to see it. Okay, we have restarted Splunk, so you need to go back again. We will be refreshing our dashboard again. Okay, something is wrong. Okay, it is not able to load the resource. Maybe something is wrong over here. Maybe it was little bit of connection error over there. Okay, anyway, so if I just click over here, so cannot read the property row.title of undefined over here. So we got this particular error over here. So let us see it. Okay, it needs to be e.data. I have given date over here, dat over here. Okay, so let us bump it once and refresh it. Okay, so if I click over here, again some error maybe we are getting. Modal is not defined. Okay, so one thing we forgot to do it over here is we have used this modal over here, right? So let us, this is a good error actually, this modal over here, but we have not included in our require in the up, right? So that is what we have to do it, and we will be doing it in the similar way they have done it over here. Okay, so what they have done, so they have done something like this one, right? So let us copy that, then we will change accordingly. So we will add it after the MVC, anywhere you can add it, and we'll give it a comma first. Now this is important, /static/app, our app, because we have copied that modal.js in our tmdb, so we will be giving the app name called tmdb over here, and it is directly inside the app server static, so we do not need any other path over here. Okay, so this is our modal.js, and once you add any library over here, you need to basically give a corresponding argument over here as well. So let's, after MVC, we'll add, let's give it a name called modal. So that is what we have given it below as well. The same name you need to use it once you want to create that modal object. Okay, the same name you have to give it over here. You need to keep it in mind. Now let's bump it once. Let's see if there is any other error. Okay, we will click on over here. So our modal is coming up correctly. And okay, so if I just see it, so it is displaying a table with all the details we wanted, and it is properly filtering the data over here as well. Okay, I want to keep my console open over here. Let me show you another stuff which is important. Okay, so I just close that modal. Okay, 1 minute. If I just see it now, if I just clicked it again, if you are seeing it, once I clicked this movie title again, it did not display the table over here. Instead, it is giving me an error called already have instance with ID, the modal table search. So that means if I just go back over here, we have the given this particular ID to this search, right? Once this search is already established and we are not destroying this particular ID, so that's why it is not allowing us to create another search object with the same ID. Okay, so to overcome this one, the best way I think it is, we can do it over here is create dynamic IDs over here. Okay, so how we will do it, we can just append current time. So this is how you'll be doing it, var epoch. Okay, and then it is just a new if you're JavaScript expert, you already know how to create a current date and how to get the current date time. I think it is new date and then the get time over here. So this will always give me the current date. I think this is not required over here. Now once we get the current date, what will happen is we will add this guy to our search. Okay, so every time I clicked on that movie ID, it will be a new epoch. My search ID will be changing. So you need to be very careful that this particular search ID we have referred it over here. So this guy also needs to be changed, as we are already calculating the epoch. So this two epoch will be always same, right? So the table will be properly displaying the search result over here. Even for the table view also you can do the same stuff. Okay, you can add a epoch over here. So let us see after changing that part whether it is rectifying that problem or not. Okay, so if I clicked on over here, it is displaying the table properly, and if you see, if I just clicked outside, the modal is going away, right? So that is where that backdrop property I was talking about. Okay, so if I clicked on here again, if you see, this time it did not give me any error over here, right? And it is displaying that particular movie details properly over here. Okay, so this type of small things you may be required, and you will be facing maybe when you are developing Splunk dashboard with JS and those stuff. So I already faced this error, that's why I was actually sharing with you, and I think that's it. Like yeah, that is all I wanted to discuss today. I don't know, maybe it is a long video, and I don't know whether you will be seeing it till this end or not, but let me know how you find this particular video over here. Okay, in next videos or in future we will talk more about some other interesting stuff about Splunk as well. Okay, see you in next video.